Here is your question of the day. I don't think we have anybody on here that is brand new. I know Andre is fairly new, but the question of the day today is going to be, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. What is your most interesting scar? And that question was submitted by Valerie Smith.
What is your most interesting scar?
Scar, yes.
This is
Does it need to be physical, spiritual, mental?
I don't know, but for some of us, we do not necessarily want it to be show and tell, because I know we have some show and tellers on here.
What are you trying to say?
I'm sucker, Lynn.
Funny that Rob was the first one that answered.
Wow.
I
Show you my
think you mean
Speedo.
like emotional or psychological scar.
I'm just going to hold that and let you make your own choice.
Okay.
So, with that said, make sure that you put your information in the chat so that everybody can share it. Name, email, phone number at least, and then give us anything else you want to give us. That's perfectly fine.
I feel like I missed this last week.
Missed this?
I think I did. I think I had family in town and I missed this.
I think you did, and I think we missed you.
Oh, well, that's nice. I was busy though. We had new chicks and a cat and a lamb, and we're doing our thing.
You guys have no idea how interesting Colleen is going to be. She's the chicken whisperer, and you guys just really, if you haven't had a conversation with her, you need to have a conversation with her. But very quickly, I want to make sure you know who we have selected as our person this week that we are all going to be helping by doing a testimonial or anything like that. I want you to go to their websites, and I'm going to give you all the information where you can go, but we're going to be doing that for Joel Felsenstein at this point. So if you've had conversations with Joel and you know him, that would be wonderful. If you haven't, this is the week to make sure that you reach out and get to know him. Remember that Joel is in the UK, so there will be a time difference. So I think, Joel, what time is it there now for you?
5 past 6.
In the evening. So
Yes.
Don't be calling him in 3 hours when it's the middle of the afternoon for you, because he'll be sleeping. So try to remember there's a time difference. So with that said, I am going to let all of you get started with one of our speakers first. And the first speaker that I'm going to let you hear from is Deanna Brakefield. We love her. We adore her. She does have a radio show of her own. She will, I'm sure, share some information on that as well. But Deanna, you are up first.
So as many of you know, hi to the new people. I'm Deanna Brakefield, owner of Lionheart Kingdom Marketing and host of Neurodivergent News. Today, I want to talk about something that I find really, really exciting, because I found myself about a year ago doing this very thing. I want to talk about pivoting. So what is pivoting? Now, a lot of people, when they hear pivot, they automatically start thinking, well, that means I have to quit a thing that I'm already doing in order to change direction. And that's just not the case, you guys. All a pivot is a strategic change in direction. Now, there can be different kinds of pivots. Obviously, many of us as entrepreneurs, we took a career change pivot at some point. Many of us have been in relationship pivots before, or, we've had our internal values where we've changed. But when our businesses are concerned, this is super, super important, because guess what? We are allowed to change. In fact, we actually should. You are under no obligation to be the same person right now that you were 5 minutes ago. So why is that important? Well, pivoting gives us the opportunity to overcome mistakes or errors in judgment that we might have made and be on a path that is better for us. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that word, they're afraid. They don't want to change what they're doing because they've got so much time or money invested. They're afraid of what people will think if they change what they're doing. They're afraid of what they don't know or sticking out. And that's okay, because a lot of people, or I keep saying that phrase, I apologize for that. When we hear pivot, we think quit. And for a lot of us, quit means failure. But it's not. It's actually wisdom. It's actually knowing that what you are doing is not working, and not just being prepared to, but being willing to change what you're doing so that you can get where that you want to go. So I want to talk about giving yourself permission to pivot. And that's actually a lot easier than it sounds like. You just have to tell yourself, I can change my mind. I don't owe anyone an explanation as to why I'm changing my mind. And it's okay to outgrow who you used to be and change to fit who you are today. You're not going back to square one. You're just changing to a new path to be able to figure out where you need to go. So you should create what I call a pivot checklist. When you're deciding, do I want to change directions? Do I want to change what I'm doing? Do I want to change my marketing, my branding? Doesn't matter how you apply this. Am I energized by the change that I want to make? If the answer is no, it might be a good idea to keep looking, because maybe you're not quite there yet, but you're really close. Is this in alignment with who I am now? When I started my business, my husband wanted to be in the marketing business. He just wanted to do cool internet stuff. I'm the one that told him, hey, let's market to mental health professionals. Let's help them get their names out there so that they can be found by the people that need them. But then 2 years in, I realized that wasn't working for us. Now, I could have stayed the course. I could have continued to bang my head against the wall and hope that I could get the people that I wanted to talk to listen. But instead, we pivoted, and I came at it from a different direction. Many of you guys now know me as the neurodivergent advocate, entrepreneur, mom who's out there. Y'all hear me? Some of y'all heard that word for the first time because it came out of my mouth. That was a pivot, guys. When I shifted my business over to helping neurodivergent entrepreneurs, I still get to the mental health professionals, but I get at them sideways instead of directly and head on. So I had to ask myself, why am I afraid of changing? And it was all those things that I mentioned before. I didn't want people to judge me. I didn't want to think I had wasted my time. But sometimes a pivot is what you need to put the gas in your engine and get you going in a direction you never saw yourself going. So ask yourself, why am I stuck here? What am I afraid of? And does what I'm doing give me energy? Does it make me feel aligned? Does it make me feel happy and good and fulfilled? If you can't say yes to the majority of those, it might be time to think about doing even just a minor shift in what it is that you are trying to accomplish. So for many of us, that's going to be not going to be our business messaging, but it's going to be how we talk to people. It's going to be the way that we interact and we reach out to people. Lunch with Lynn is a great way to start, because how many of us have a radio medium that we get to talk on every single week? Not many. So today I want to reiterate that one last time, is you don't need permission from anybody to change what you're doing, because you are the author of your story. No one else gets to write in that book except for you, unless you let them. So whether you're pivoting in your business, your life, or your mindset, I see you, I support you, and I am cheering you on if no one else is. And I would love to have a conversation one-on-one with you, just to talk about what you're doing and how you might want to change in the near future. So once again, I'm Deanna Brakefield, and you said interesting scars was the question of the day. I'll be honest, other than the cooking scars on my hands, because let's be real, I'm a klutz in the kitchen and they're covered in them. The only scar I have is my C-section scar. So baby time, that's the gist of my special scar.
That worked. Thank you much, Deanna. You're always great for us. So we're going to do a few of our introductions. So Linda McCarran, we're so happy to have you back with us. You are up first.
Thank you. Well, hi, everybody. Hi, Jaya. I am a certified personal and professional development life coach and spiritual counselor, and that needs a little definition because it's not anything religious. It's more about Well, kind of like what Deanna talked about, giving yourself permission or uh, feeding your own spirit. And sometimes that can get pretty deep. I've been trained in inner child work and that kind of thing. It just depends on how deep the client wants to go. Currently, I'm the author of a new book. It should be out in a month. Like I said, fingers crossed. It's called Something Happened on the Way to My Life, and this is what I did about it. It's a compilation of my experiences and other people's, who, of course, names and dates and stuff have been changed, but certain things about their stories spoke to me. And then I provide a coaching tool that, a visual, let's say, a model that correlates to that story. So, for example, the three main themes are building our resilience, honing in on our intuition, because we all have it. A lot of times we just block it. And also applying emotional intelligence in practical ways to not only our personal life, but our professional life as well. Do we incorporate humor? Do we incorporate empathy? Where are we coming off to people? I always say I teach what I most need to learn. So that was my first plunge in the pool of emotional intelligence, and it's helped me over the years. It's a lifelong experience. There is one story in this book that is very touching, and it's something that most of us probably have not experienced, but can identify with in some other way. I have a varied background. I was a teacher. I was in broker for real estate. I was in healthcare marketing, and I did a 2-year stint as a aftercare counselor in a substance abuse treatment center. So I've got a lot of different stories that come into play. And one of them was this German couple, an older couple that I had been working with to find a house. And Frida had very specific needs for she and her husband and her mother, who was going to live with them. So she said, I need a bedroom on the first floor, 2 bedrooms and a bath upstairs. I need a basement for my husband to putz around in, and I need a vegetable garden so that I can grow my fruits and vegetables. I thought, okay, there was nothing on the market at the time, but I did find a for sale by owner. We call them FSBOs. So I approached the sellers and I said, look, I have a couple that your house just really fills the bill. Would you consider a one-party agreement? Sure. So we set the date and we went through the house, and we exited by saying thank you to the sellers. And Frida looked at me and said, Linda, you could not have found us a better home. And something told me to wait for the next thing she was going to say. And I said, well, great. It does explain everything. She said, but I can't live here. And I said, oh, tell me about that. She said, well, you know how it looks flat on the ground. I said, yeah, I didn't even think it had a basement because the window wells were below grade. I almost didn't show it to you. And she said, you know how the pitch of the roof is like this? I said, yes, the typical Cape Cod. This was an expanded Cape Cod. She said, well, when I walked through that house, I felt the same way I felt when I walked into the concentration camps.
Oh,
That structure reminded her of walking into the concentration camps because of the roof. It was flat on the ground. We all know what they looked like. And I said, of course you can't live here. And every time I tell that story, I get shivers. Other people just go, oh my God, what an experience. And so when I work with people and their core wounds, I also talk about how resilient they are and how resilient she and Wilhelm have been over the course of the years. And I think I was meant to meet them just to tell that story and to show people how something can impact their life, but they can still move on, even though that scar for her would be everlasting.
Excellent. And Linda, where are you from?
Well, originally I was from Chicago, and then I moved out to the southern suburbs when I was 15.
Excellent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to run real quick to Joel, who again, guys, is the person that we have selected as the business this week, that we are looking for testimonials and recommendations, and I will give you all the links on where you can put those. If you don't know Joel, this is a great time to reach out and get to know him. So Joel, you are up.
Hi everybody, good to be back after last week. Did my knee in the other week. It's not much of a scar, but yes, I had a bruise for quite a while. But I am utilizing my creativity to bring neurodivergence, neurodiversity into the front and center of society, and we have just incorporated in the States now. Can't trade yet, but we're getting there. And I don't really have much in the realm of scars, but I guess mentally, how I was treated in my last job fueled me to create my own company. So I guess that's a good a positive coming out of a negative. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon.
You want to tell them where you're from, Joel?
Yeah, I'm from the UK, although I don't know how much longer it will be called that after what's happening over here. But
And Joel, you want to tell them you're a musician as well. Do you want to tell them what instrument you play?
I play drums, I play guitar. I have tried several times to form a band unsuccessfully, but I still like doing what I do.
Good deal. Thank you very much, Joel. Stella Streaker, we are so very, very happy you are back.
I am very happy I am back as well. It has been a crazy last month or so where I've been moving. You guys.
Yeah, you got to come closer because your voice was fading out.
Okay. So I'm Stella Streaker. I am owner of My Health Puzzle, and I am an enzyme nutrition coach and a massage therapist. And I am the creator of the Cancer War Room. I'm a cancer survivor. The last 3.5 years or so has been me dealing with issues related to colorectal cancer. And so God saw fit to put me back into the world of coaching, where last year I was like, nope, not doing this anymore because everything that I went through with the cancer treatment and recovery. But what I ended up doing was combining the conventional medical with alternative therapies. And what I want to tell y'all is on June 21st from 9 to 12, if you are in Illinois or in Chicagoland, in my Elgin office, I'm having an open house that has give people free access to some of the equipment and protocols and things that I used, that my alternative doctor used for me during cancer therapy and recovery. It's very exciting to know that there's other possibilities to do when you're faced with such a diagnosis, that it's not all just what the medical community says that you should do. chemotherapy and radiation is basically it. And now immunotherapy was actually more successful than chemotherapy. Don't even get me started on that little bandwagon there. Okay, so if you are in the Illinois area, you are invited. Please come and check in with me. I can get you the address. And 9 to 12, June 21st. I'll be doing one every month. I'm super excited about it because you will have access to so much amazing stuff. What's my favorite, or what did you say about the scar? My favorite scar?
What is your most interesting scar?
My goodness, I could not even begin to choose. All the scars on my belly look like a sailboat. I have multiple scars all over my belly. They all combined, they look like a sailboat. Yep.
Excellent. So listen, even if you are not in the Chicagoland area, if you know of someone that could benefit from it that is in the Chicagoland area, reach out to Estella. So let's say Valerie lives in North Carolina, but she knows some people in the Chicagoland area that she thinks could benefit. Make the introduction. Guys, you have to start thinking big picture here. It's not just about where is Lynn. Where are Lynn's connections that could benefit by this? Estella is an amazing woman with an amazing background, and the journey that she's been on lately has just made her life even that much more interesting. So you definitely want to have somebody not miss the opportunity to meet her in person and to get a piece of that strength that she has to be able to face things that many of us don't want to have to face. Thank you, Estella. So don't be surprised to reach out with people that are not on this call that they know.
See, I come back to being on this group because y'all are so encouraging. Thank you for being a part of this really amazing community.
Thank you much. Dr. Jaya, you're up.
I'm Jaya Kasturi, a board-certified internist. I've been practicing in Chicagoland area for more than 35 years, but now I'm retired. My exposure to alternate way of treatment with my patients started more than 30 years ago because I needed products for weight management in my patients. At that time, there was no synthetic good product available. So that's how my experience started. And then I found a company in 2017. The science was mind-blowing. This was the science of activation. All through, we've been knowing that we can have a lot of antioxidant-rich food, and it is very good for health. But they have not changed the story of any disease or outcome of any disease so far. But now this company, the guy who discovered the presence of antioxidants in our cells originally, he went ahead and did 40 years of research to bring out one product which could activate your genes to make your own antioxidants and anti-inflammatory enzymes. That was a revolution. It was in 2003. And 2005, ABC7 went and found out that actually this product works. John Quinones gave his blood and found that his oxidative stress was reduced more than 45% in 15 days. That was unheard of. And since then, the company has become a network marketing company, and we have done millions of dollars. And the same activation, this is all natural elements which switch on the genes which are supposed to work for you. As we advance in age, they don't work anymore, but we can put the switch on and make them work for you. So we brought out a very good liquid collagen, which makes your collagen, your own collagen, 45%. Also, it prevents the destruction of the collagen by more than 30%. So what can you ask for? You have your own collagen made and it's not getting destroyed. This collagen has 10 different types. Usually in the market, you have collagen powder. They don't even get absorbed 30%. The liquid collagen gets absorbed 80 to 90%. Great value. It's very good for all the arthritis patients, anybody who has back pain, everything. You can take collagen and you can be sure that you would not need a synthetic medication. Also, we have recently a weight loss product. You know, the synthetic product, GLP-1, everybody is injecting themselves. I believe Trump is getting that GLP-1 injection. I heard about it. So that GLP-1 injection came out for the treatment of diabetes, but now it is available for weight loss also. Our company thought that other synthetic product has lot of side effects. People lose muscle mass, but we brought out something which makes our own GLP-1 because our body produces. So we switch on the genes to make our own GLP-1 so that insulin secretion is better. It tells our brain that you are done. It's enough for you to eat. And we are happy with whatever we eat. And that's the beauty of this. So anybody who is interested, let me know. Also, there is a great opportunity. We are looking for new consultants because these products are here to stay and they are really helpful. My cholesterol came down from 160 total to 144. I didn't even try anything. I didn't need to reduce, but it got reduced. So if anybody who's health conscious and you want to correct whatever is wrong with you, just talk to me. I can consult you. I can tell you what can be done, whether it is Western medicine or the our own alternative medication. I can tell you, and that will be my pleasure actually to talk to you. Now you are talking about
Right?
scar.
You want to tell them where you're from first?
I'm from Chicago. I live in the Chicago metropolitan land in one of the suburbs. And
What is your most interesting scar?
scar.
Yeah.
Yes. I have one here in the nose. Right at the chicken pox.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jaya. We're going to jump real quick, Catherine. Before we come to you, we're going to jump to Colleen Stubbs. She is one of our newest members of our loyalty groups. We are so happy to have her there. She's a ball of excitement. Pay attention. You don't want to miss a minute. Colleen Stubbs, you are up. Uh-oh, you're muted.
Can I tell you that that's the third time today? And I bet my husband wishes he had a mute button. But he does not. I am Colleen Stubbs. I'm the founder of Simplified CEO Systems, and I help entrepreneurs, especially midlife entrepreneurs, to build successful businesses they're madly passionate about without overwhelm. So I do that by using smart systems, teaching simple tech, using customization, and also learning to use delegation. I have 35 years in building businesses. And in that 35 years, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs get overwhelmed, get burned out, and get out before they even see profit. And to me, that's just really sad, especially when, the whole theory that we're working 80 hours for ourselves so we don't have to work 40 for someone else. They're really dedicated entrepreneurs. And the only thing is that they get a little bit scattered and overwhelmed. And so then they give up too soon. So I have built a CRM that is a very simple CRM. And right now I have a special running that I will tell you about in my little talk.
Beautiful.
So
Colleen,
do you want to know about my scar?
Oh, yes, I want to know where you're from first. Let them know where you're from.
Well, right now I'm in Missouri. I live in Missouri. I was born and raised in Florida. And I'm in the Ozarks in Missouri. And yes, I did put my chicken down to start this call. I don't think she's feeling very well today. So I had her, gave her a little swing on the swing earlier. But I have 5 C-section scars, and you would think that that would be interesting, but that's not the most interesting. I have a scar on my left knee. We were getting ready to go camping for Thanksgiving. We were in a time crunch, and I misstepped getting into the Suburban and landed on my knee on the sidewalk. And so what's a mom to do, right? I've got 4 little kids waiting to go camping, a husband, everything packed. we can either go to the emergency room for 3 or 4 hours, or I could just stitch that bad boy myself. And so, yeah, no, I'd never done that before, but I happen to have some animal stitch kits on hand in case I needed them. I had never looked into how to do that, but I, took a couple shots of happy stuff and stitched my own knee. And it's not as bad as you would think it would be. But yes, I did that myself, and I could do it again. The only thing is, when I started out, I didn't know that on stitching kits for stitching needles, that the bigger the number is, the smaller the needle. So that's like backwards what you would think when you're sewing, right? And so I started with the wrong number. I started with a great big huge needle, and I got it through and then had to pull it back out with pliers. And my husband and kids just waited in the car. It was great. And then I started and got it done and tied it off and took them out myself. Never had a problem.
What are we talking about? I'm Jim's lost.
Her most interesting scar.
I stitched my knee myself, Jam. I would stitch yours if you needed it.
That's good to know, but whoa.
That's definitely a whoa.
Late.
Hey, Colleen,
Yes,
I don't know if you have actually had a conversation with Ken Dietschy, but I think the two of you definitely need to make a connection. I would normally connect the two of you because you're teaching people about starting their own businesses. And you and I both know that there are going to be times where they're going to be overwhelmed with menial tasks that they should not be focusing on. They should be focusing on the things they need to grow their business. And Ken can do that.
Yep, Ken can. Ken is a good friend of mine.
Did Ken send you here?
Yes.
Oh, see, I just knew there was a good connection there. I did not remember that. Sorry, I'm kind of old, and I had not had much sleep last night, so that's silly. But I did look at the two of you and say, are you kidding me? That's a natural connection. Excellent. Thank you so much, Colleen. We look forward to every opportunity that you get to speak with us. Yay. And if you don't know why she's called the Chicken Whisperer, I'm not going to tell you, because that's a great reason for you to pick up the phone and get to know her and find out why she's the Chicken Whisperer. It is a great story. Yay. So with that said, let's pick up some of our introductions. Again, let's go to Catherine Wilkie. We're glad she's back. She's going to feng shui you today.
I am. Welcome. I'm Catherine Wilking. I'm a author, a decorator, feng shui expert, and a podcast host. So I take charge of your space and to help you create less stress and a more productive and enjoying lifestyle. I'm in the Niagara area in Canada right now, and I do work through the Zoom all through North America. And if you want, my website is my name, in case I forget to say that, catherinewilking.com. Keep it easy. That's my motto. Keep it easy. I wanted to tell you a little bit today about predecessor chi. Now, if you just to reflect, the chi is the life force. It's the essence. It's the je ne sais quoi of life, right? We all have a pulse and we all have an energy field. And predecessor chi, you can find all kinds of places. Any place that anybody else has been there or touched has an imprint on it as well. For example, if you move into a new home or a rented apartment, new office, whatever, it's got somebody else's essence on this. And a lot of times, subconsciously, we go, oh, I'm going to paint this room here. I'm going to put up a new shower curtain here. I'm going to bring in some flowers. And you make it your own. You put your stamp on it. And that's logical and reasonable, and people do it all the time without thinking about it. If you're shopping at the Goodwill and you bring home some sweaters or something, and I support the Goodwill all the time, I think that's an excellent way to spend my money. You just wash the clothes and that essence gets clean and you don't feel that or see that anymore. Other items that you pick up, you might want to paint them or put stickers on them, that's the whole thing, is that you're trying to subconsciously erase some of this. But sometimes at an office, you can't throw a used desk into the washing machine, and you don't usually want to paint it. And you've got somebody else's stuff here. So what you don't want to do in your office is adopt somebody else's desk, unless you know that they have been successful, they're nice people, and they were making money. Okay? If somebody puts you in a cubicle and says, here's your desk, First thing you're going to do is clean it. Clean, 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 clean. You might even want to put some sage out or some crystal or something just to change the essence here, right? So if you were going to have somebody's purse, you wouldn't buy a used purse or a used wallet or anything. You don't know what's going on with this money. You don't know if and the desks, these are connected, really highly connected. So you don't want to be energetically connected with anybody that's been depressed, bankrupt, a criminal, life-threatening disease of some sort. All this stuff has to be cleaned up. So my big tip for you today is don't move into somebody else's energy unless you can clear it or have somebody to clear it for you. Clean out the drawers, no wobbly legs, right? On your chair or your desk here as well. And only bring into your space what supports you and you love it, and it's going to help you thrive. So those are my tips today. Beautiful. And what is your most interesting scar? Well, it's an interesting story for my most interesting scar. I was at two things. It's emotional and physical. So I was at my sister's place a few years, more than 10 years ago, talking with my nieces, and they're looking at the magazines and how they can be cute and pretty for boys, right? And I says to my nieces, I'm saying, do you know, you're going to find somebody who loves you, warts and all. You don't have to worry about this stuff in the magazine, okay? And my sister pipes up from the room across the hall and she yells, yeah, look at your auntie walking around all these years with a big ugly scar on her face. Whoa, where did that come from? Holy smokers. And I thought, what's she talking about? And then it was, oh, which scar is she talking about, right? Just like Esther. I have an active childhood, but it goes back, no kidding, 50 years ago that she's been carrying this stuff. I got hit right between my nose and my lip here when I was 4 years old. I was playing with the boys and I got hit in the mouth right here. And the blood just went, okay, face things. I ran home and I'm running around the house like this and there's blood everywhere. My two younger siblings were screaming. My older brother was screaming. My mother was screaming and everybody was screaming up a storm. And my mom tried to put a Band-Aid on me and it really didn't work at all. Fast forward, this scarred not only me, but my younger sister, okay, who is carrying this terror of, and every time she looks at me, I guess she can still see this teeny weeny star right here, and I've completely forgotten about it. Some people are laughing. I know. Who knew? I thought it was just me that was being terrorized at that time. I never seen that in my life.
How do we all survive our childhoods? I swear. Thank you.
Childhood is a fun time. Anyway, that's a interesting story.
Thank you. Rob Holman, you are up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rob Holman, better known as your health and wealth bodyguard, and I'm with a company called RNC Financial. And I specialize in educating and empowering individuals to understand the different things and strategies that they can do in order to secure a financial future. And as I did a video with Lynn recently, we try to emphasize the key concepts of this book written by David McKnight called The Power of Zero. So what we try to do is alert and make people aware of getting tax-free retirement as opposed to taxable retirement. So, I really enjoy educating and making people aware. And, I hate to be sold just like everybody else does. I'd prefer it if you would tell me, all right, these are my goals. And based on what I understand from what we were discussing, this would be the best way for me to achieve those goals. I really like people to sell me on why this would be right for them rather than me sell them on this, why this will be right for them. Because I'll tell you what, it's a lot better when you walk away and you never say, what did I just do? Instead saying, I know exactly what I did because Rob made me smarter and powerful and because of knowledge. So now my most interesting scar would be
Oh
the one on my shoulder. We can see that big hump one, right? It goes that way. Flipped over the handlebars of my mountain bike, and completely dislocated my clavicle. I look like Quasimodo, and I had to wait until I can go get surgery. And they put a pin in my shoulder. It's called an AC joint reduction. Well, I got staph infection from that pin in my shoulder. Had to have 3 more surgeries, a week stay in the hospital, and 2 months worth of IV therapy. But that's the most visible one. We don't have to talk about my vasectomy
we don't
scar.
want to see the invisible one. Thank you, Rob Holman.
You're welcome.
Bala, you're up.
Hi, my name is Anita Bala. I'm from the Chicagoland area, and I'm with Melaleuca. It's similar to a Costco or a Sam's Club, but with healthier, safer products. And I'm also a pronunciation coach for English as a second language, primarily for the Latino population. But as long as people know how to speak English, I can help them with their pronunciation skills. And one of the products I'd like to tell you about today is the Clear Defense here. It's for your hands. It's a hand sanitizer, and it's got plant-based, I don't know what to say, like, it's plant-based that you can use to clean your hands. And then a scar that has a memorable scar for me is being bitten by a Great Dane. So I will never mess with a Great Dane. I shouldn't have gone up to it when it didn't know me. I'm just a big animal lover and stuff. So yeah, I will never mess with a Great Dane again. That's one thing I've learned.
That's a scary one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. Valerie Smith, you're up.
And Anita's Melaleuca laundry detergent is dreamy, and I highly recommend it, by the way, boys and girls. So my name is Valerie Smith, and I grew up in Rawlins, Wyoming. My husband and I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina now. I was an elementary teacher for 26 years, and during that time, I had a visitor come to me after school one day, and it inspired me decades later to become who I am today. And this visitor was a financial advisor, actually, and he came to my door professionally dressed with a suit and tie, and he said he was permitted by the district to come around and talk to teachers about investing. And would I have a few minutes? And so I acquiesced, and I said, okay, sure, come on in. So here I was arrogantly thinking that I was good with money because I was married, I had 2 little girls, a dog, 2 vehicles, and a mortgage. I paid the bills on time every single month. We did not have debt other than our mortgage and our car payment. And I thought I was really good with money. But when this gentleman started asking me questions and doing a financial needs analysis on me, I realized I was only getting about a C- in money because we were doing 2 things with our money. We were making money and spending money, and that's it. Our money does not have a mind of its own. Money does not have its own discipline. And our money was sneaking out the back door of the house, getting spent on things that don't serve us. So he showed me a few strategies. Like Rob said, he didn't tell. He just asked and asked and asked. And based on what I needed and what he found in our budget that was available to pay ourselves first, I got really jazzed over what he could do for us. And we did it. And we built wealth. And it was so inspirational to me. I didn't go to Edward Jones. I didn't go downtown to an agency because I didn't think we measured up. I didn't think we qualified for anything like that because I thought that was for rich people. And I was a lowly teacher. and my husband was a lowly painting contractor. Moving forward a couple of decades, I got an invitation to join my company to do similarly to what the gentleman taught me. And it is teaching. So 80% of Americans are dying in poverty. Yeah, 80%. And it isn't always necessarily their fault. They just don't know what they're doing. And in so doing, they continue to not know what they're doing. They are not putting something on their Walmart shopping list to go and purchase something to learn how to take care of their money. They're also not going downtown to Edward Jones or to an agency. And so they develop coping mechanisms to continue to continue the status quo of just doing what they're doing. And I love the word that Deanna used, because this is pivotal in what we do, is to pivot. For a person to change their spending habits and to grow their money, it requires a great big pivot, a brave decision, a bold decision. Most people can't make that bold decision until they get a visitor like I got. So our company is we tend to go reach out to the underserved. Not the underserved so much that they don't have any money at all, but that they do have a decent income that they can use to constructively put something together to build wealth. And that's what we do. And I love, Deanna, thank you for using the word pivot, because that is exactly what we have to help people to do. And so that is what it, oh, and I wanted to say too, Lynn Lionhood and I were having this conversation this morning privately, and she told us about how she and her husband taught their children money management and money care. And Lynn, your kids are some of the luckiest kids in the United States of America, because that does not customarily happen. Not only did her kids learn it from Lynn and her husband, but now her children are teaching their children the art and the skill of building money in the house. And not only does it save financial lives, it also saves relationships, and it really reduces stress in families when they don't have to worry about that stuff. So my whole passion is to get rid of 80% poverty in America. I'm fervently a believer in that, and in providing as much knowledge and answers to questions as I possibly can. 80%.
You know, we are gonna have a conversation about that tonight, and it will be playing on Money Matrix on the Facebook page. So it'll be a very interesting conversation on why we are not teaching children money management skills. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, we can teach them how to put a condom on a banana, but we can't seem to teach them money management in school, which is really crazy.
It is tragic, and I will attest to this. I will prove this. In 26 years of teaching, I was never required to give that information to my students. And if students aren't getting it at home, they might be getting it if they're not getting it at school, they might be getting it at home, but it also might not be the correct way. I didn't get the correct way at home. So America teaches reading and writing and math and science and history and language. We learn how to drive. Deanna, on your property, they learn how to milk a cow and feed a lamb. We learn how to use technology. Some of us learn how to sew. We learn a musical instrument. We learn how to swim. We learn all of these life skills except money management. And so my ideal market, my preferred client is anyone who makes money and spends money. That's who I want to work with. That's who I want to work with. So,
Valerie, you want to tell them where you're from?
I'm from Rollins. I grew up in Rollins, Wyoming, and my husband and I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina now.
You want to tell them what is your most interesting scar?
Oh, in 2001, I had a bad skiing accident. I was on brand new skis going way too fast and I crashed. And I skied the rest of that winter from that same crash. I kept getting worse in my neck, but I was toughing it out, I thought. And then I golfed all summer. And by the time it was time to start teaching school, 2 weeks before school started, I was a hot mess. I couldn't lift my arms. I couldn't do anything. And so I got checked and I had a ruptured disc between the sixth and seventh vertebrae. So I spent 2 weeks in the hospital in the pediatric ward. I guess they thought I hadn't grown up yet, even though I was a mature adult. Anyway, they had to fuse and they took a piece off of my hip bone and somehow he did a jigsaw puzzle and put the piece from my hip up some here, we're back here. I've got a pretty good scar on my hip bone from that skiing accident.
Thank you very, very much. So before I come to you, Bobby Bennett, I'm going to quickly tell everybody about Legal Shield. Legal Shield today, I decided I would share a story with you guys about a business owner. I had a business owner that owned an auto repair shop, and he had a client that owed him a lot of money, and he tried everything he could to work with this guy, and just didn't work out. The guy wasn't paying his bill. So he found himself hit with a $35,000 lawsuit because he auctioned the car off because he had a lien against the car, and the guy was very upset about it. So it really was a big curveball. He had tried everything to work with this guy, and it was very disappointing on his part. So he remembered that he had Legal Shield, and he contacted them. They told him that he had 100 hours of defense trial already included as part of his membership. He wouldn't have to pay a penny for him. So they defended him on the lawsuit. It went to an arbitrator. 6 hours later, the arbitrator found in his favor, and it cost him nothing. So those are important things, guys. You know, you don't think you need it, but this gentleman never saw that lawsuit coming. And when it comes, you either going to have to pony up quite a bit of money, or you're going to be lucky enough to be paying a very, very small monthly fee, and it's all taken care of for you. So that's really what Legal Shield is all about. I think if you haven't heard about what it is, please get in touch with me. I'd be more than glad to share with you what it could do for you. So, in my most interesting scar is I grew up in a very large family. There were 8 kids, and I swear I don't know how we survived it, because sometimes kids in a family can be mean to each other. It's like almost like they're out to kill each other. That's what I think. I had 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and my brothers, I think, thought they were little ninjas, and we lived in the country. We had milk delivered by the milk van in glass bottles, and they had taken a glass bottle, and we had a big hill by the back of our property, and they had broken these milk bottles in the grass, and the grass was pretty deep, and you couldn't see the broken milk bottle. And then they dared all the girls to roll down the hill. So I was the oldest girl. I had to go first. I rolled down the hill and then started screaming a blue streak as there was a big chunk of milk bottle sticking out of my shoulder. And I said, don't know what this is all about. Ran to my mother and said, I don't know what's sticking out of me. Well, she figured it out pretty quick. And that's my story. That scar is in there. Nobody else rolled down the hill except dumb me. But we survived that childhood. So anyway, I will now go again, Bobby, before I get to you, I'm going to run to my last speaker, or next to the last speaker, which is Keith Robinson. He is one of our newer gentlemen who's in our loyalty groups as well. And Keith Robinson, the next 5 minutes are yours.
Well, hopefully this will be educational. So where did I put that banana? Anyway, we're going to talk about the cardiovascular system, and what else would I be talking about? And I'm going to put a picture up here of the cross section of an artery, because there's a lot can be learned from that. We have approximately 100,000 miles of veins and arteries and capillaries. That's a lot of mileage. But we're supposed to transport oxygenated blood supply and nutrition throughout that carry waste away, clean it. It's a process that's all done naturally. But as we get a bit older, we have a problem. We don't manufacture enough nitric oxide. Now, in 1998, there was a Nobel Prize for Medicine. And that Nobel Prize for Medicine proved that nitric oxide was a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. And when we're young, we generally manufacture enough or a decent amount or whatever is required, and that keeps our arterial system clean, elastic, and free-flowing for most people. But there is evidence of cardiovascular disease in 8-year-old children. But when we get a bit older, when we get to our 40s, whatever level of nitric oxide we made in our 20s, we are only making 50% of that in our 40s. And therefore, we fail to make enough to keep the arterial system clean, elastic, and free-flowing. So what's going to happen is we get a coating of plaque starting to coat the lining of the arterial system. And when the heart pumps blood, the arteries are supposed to be flexible, clean, elastic, and free-flowing. But because there's a build-up of plaque there, it loses the flexibility, causes stiffness to be there, and it tries to flex, but it's not able to flex because of the plaque buildup. So we get tiny cracks and tears through the arterial system. The body, as a reaction to that, instructs your liver to increase cholesterol production to go in and seal the cracks and tears. So when somebody has raised cholesterol, it's generally a sign that they have a lack of nitric oxide production. Back when I was doing cardiovascular screenings, anytime somebody had a raised cholesterol, they were telling me to have raised cholesterol. And when we checked the elasticity of the arteries, they always had raised stiffness in the arteries as well. So the two equated perfectly. On top of all that, as you get older and we get to our 50s, we're only making 35% of what we made in our 20s. When somebody gets to their 60s, they're down to 15% of what they made in their 20s. So the problem continues to get worse and worse and worse. Not only does your cholesterol production rise because of the stiffness in the arteries, your body starts instructing your heart to increase pressure to try and get the blood flow through a narrowing space. So if your liver or some gland or whatever organ is the far side of a supply like this, it's slowly gone down to a third of the blood supply it should have been getting. So the body keeps asking the heart to slowly rise pressure to see if it can get the blood flow through. So when somebody has raised blood pressure, the chances are there's some part of the body not getting the supply it is looking for, and it is trying to correct it by raising the pressure. So when somebody has raised blood pressure and the heart is working at say an average is 120/80, so now if somebody could be up to 160 or 170/90 or 195 or over 95. This is to try and get the blood flow through, but the body's satisfied with the blood flow at that pressure. So if you're put on medication, the medication instructs the heart to lower down on pressure. And when the heart lowers down on pressure, everyone's clapping themselves on the back. We got the blood pressure under control. We haven't solved the problem. We're actually brought back down the organs to the level of supply it was at when it was asking the heart to rise in pressure in the first place. So we're hiding the symptom instead of fixing the problem. Now, what I've always done with people is help them to increase their nitric oxide production so they can melt the plaque, clean the arteries, restore the blood flow. And guess what happens when their cholesterol levels, when they clean their arteries? It drops back down. But if your body's asking your liver to make extra cholesterol, it's because there's a problem to be solved. And you cannot repair the myelin around the brain without cholesterol. So if your body is asking your liver to make this level of cholesterol, but the medication tells the liver not to, but you don't have enough to do all the jobs cholesterol is required for, you can't do those jobs. So you're causing an imbalance, you're causing a problem, and this is why the body cannot repair the myelin of the brain, because the cholesterol levels are driven too low to be able to do that. I hope this has been educational. I hope the picture tells 1,000 words, and that's probably me done, if I'm watching the time correctly.
Wonderful illustration, Keith. I didn't realize that, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I think I'm a visual person, and I appreciate very much that you showed that to us. So, Keith, you want to tell them where you're from?
Yes, I am in the Emerald Isle of Ireland, and have Zoom will travel. So I work with people all over the world, and that's I am able to do everything through Zoom. So it's wonderful to be able to do that.
Do you want to tell us what's your most interesting scar?
I suppose if you only have one, it has to be the most interesting, doesn't it?
Right.
So on this index finger on my right hand, there's about 1 inch of a scar all the way down the pad. Does anybody know what a barrel of Guinness is? 90 pints. So we had a wholesale business when in my younger days, and I was on the lorry one day delivering bottled beers, mineral spirits, and barrels of Guinness. And I was taking down some barrels off the lorry, and we would bounce them down on an old tire, to take the shock of the barrel hitting the ground rather than hitting off the footpath. But as I bounced it down on the barrel, it bounced back up and crushed my finger between the barrel and the wall of the pub. And the whole thing split open for about 1 inch. And I had to go into the toilet and start running it under the cold tap. I woke up on the floor 3 times doing that. With the pain and the throbbing and all the rest. I didn't have my sewing kit like Colleen had that day. But anyway, I wrapped it in a handkerchief and had to continue delivering the rest of the load that day.
Oh Lord! Thank you, Keith. Yay!
I have a question to Keith.
Sure.
Keith, if it is only nitric oxide, don't you think cardiologists all over the world will be only using that to treat? And secondly, cholesterol formation is not because of nitric oxide. It can be genetic. It can be due to what kind of a food you eat, how is lack of exercise, all that matters. The plaque starts forming right from the childhood. There have been studies. So that's
exactly what I said. There's evidence of cardiovascular disease in 8-year-old children.
But what you are saying is totally against the concept of medicine.
Exactly. And what is the concept of medicine? To hide the symptoms with medication and not fix the problem. When Dr. Joe Prendergast did this with his patients over a 20-year period.
For just a second, Jaya. Stop for just a second. Jaya, you know as well as I do that Western medicine is a great thing, but it's not always the answer, because a lot of times it's about one medicine on top of another medicine on top of another medicine, which cause all kinds of issues. So Jaya, just like you have products that are alternative ways.
I agree 100%.
But I don't want this to get
not just nitric oxide. There are other things.
Jaya,
that's not what I said. You're not listening to what I said.
Listen carefully, Jay. So what he's saying, he believes in his product, and there's a lot of people using it that love it. So that's a medical discussion you guys can have later.
I just want to say one thing about Dr. Joe Prendergast, who was an endocrinologist in the States. When he started increasing nitric oxide production to his 20,000 patients over a 19-year period, he put 3 cardiologists out of business in his area. And this is why cardiologists are not going to promote something natural that will put them out of business. Very simple.
Okay, let's take it to Bobby Bennett. You're up next.
Thank you, Lynn. My name is Bobby Bennett. I am a certified financial planner. I am with Round Rock Advisors out of Wilton, Connecticut, but I do service all 50 states. Recently, I was actually working with someone who had been diligently saving in their 401k for 40 plus years. They had decent income. They maxed out their contributions almost every year. They did everything they thought they were supposed to do. But when we looked closer, almost all of their net worth was tied to tax-deferred accounts. What does that mean? So every time they would take money out of that account for retirement, it would be taxed as ordinary income, very similar to a paycheck. After we ran all the numbers, they were actually on track to pay more in taxes in retirement than they did throughout 3 years of working. All because no one ever helped them think about how to save their money and not just how much to save. Building wealth is one thing, but keeping it is another. That's where planning comes in. So I'm not looking to just help people who are in that situation nearing retirement with, large 401ks. I am also looking to help those who are starting in the workforce and help them get on track to avoid this type of problem. So my most interesting scar is probably on my chin. In my mid-20s, I loved motorcycles and got into a motorcycle accident, thrown from the bike. My jaw, unfortunately, wasn't wearing a helmet, hit the pavement, got a nice gash, and I actually ended up breaking my jaw in 2 places.
Oh, no.
So,
Is this why we wear a beard?
No, I had a beard at the time, too.
Oh, okay. Thank you very, very much, Bobby. Good points to be made there. So if you're someone in a situation similar to the gentleman that he helped, you might find that that's a good person to introduce Bobby to, because they don't want that surprise when they find out there were other options available. Thank you so much, Bobby. Nishan, welcome back. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Lynn. Thank you. Hi, I'm Nishant Milana with Catfront Capital. I'm in the alternative lending space, so I help small businesses get business funding when the banks say no. Work with a variety of businesses whose credit may not be the best, whose time business can be longer. And I offer products, wide variety of products from startup funding, if for those who have an idea and just need a little bit of capital to get started, equipment financing, invoice factoring, lines of credit to help you with cash flow issues, to grow your business, give you peace of mind. I work with real estate investors to help finance fix and flips, ground constructions, and refinance existing rental properties. So, if any of that sounds that fits like you, let's talk. I have a free offer free quick consultation. If you have a customer, if you have customers that really love your product but just don't have the funding at the moment, please reach out. I want to be your financing partner. And if you know small businesses that could use that funding, reach out. And I have a very lucrative the referral partnership. So yeah. And my my most interesting scar. I had 3 scars on me. I think 2 of them have healed. One, when I was in Miami with my parents, I was very young. My dad accidentally dropped boiling water on my leg, and I had 2 scars, which I think have healed. Another time this was like, I think I was entering college, and I was selling Cutco knives, and so I had some with me, and I was like cutting an orange, and I cut myself. Again, that's healed, but if you can see my hand, let's see, there's a black mark around here. Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone can see it, but back in, I don't remember when I was, like grade school, I think maybe like third grade or younger, I actually stabbed myself with a pencil, and it looks like the lead is like in my body, but it's just like a black mark. I don't know why it's still like that. I don't know, but yeah. So
Never went away.
never did. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Nishan, you want to let them know where you're from?
Yes. Yeah. So where I'm from is an interesting question. So my parents from India. I was born in Switzerland, and I grew up in New York, but now I live in Alexandria, Virginia.
Wonderful. Nishan, I would like to speak with you at some point.
Yes, please, for sure. Yeah.
Great. So Dawn Tellinghausen, you are up next.
Yes.
Dawn, you're still muted.
You're muted. That darn mute button. Nobody can. There you go. Oh, she's muted again. No, she's not. Now she is. Boy, the gremlins are working overtime in Indiana. You are still muted. What is going on for Dawn? There you go. Uh-oh, now you're muted again. What is going on with her?
Okay. I think I'm unmuted.
Good, I can hear you. So whatever you're doing now, don't move. That's good.
Okay. I'm not touching the screen. Yes, my name is Dawn Tellinghausen. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. And my business is for 42 years. I have been an independent Avon ambassador as well as an independent team builder. But what I want to talk to you about today is something a little bit different than that. I'm not going to sell anything to anyone today. I want to know from you who knows like little league teams, daycares, dance teams, cheerleaders, churches, or even personal friends, because I want to give back. I want to create an online fundraiser for them, whatever organization that is close to you or you know someone, because I know all of these places like daycares need playground equipment, cheerleaders, need money for whatever, camps they go to, churches, of course. So I want to set up an online fundraiser for them through Avon, and it's done online. So you just get a code and you go shop, and I get back my earnings. I can get back up to 35% back to the organization. And let me tell you, that is more than what you get back from any wrapping paper fundraiser or candy bar or any type of thing that you would do with an organization that does fundraising all the time. So let me know who you would like me to support. Connect them with me. We can do it totally online. Nobody's delivering anything to anyone. Avon sends it out directly to any supporters of that organization. So just let me know how I can help people, and that's what I want to do.
Dawn, is your phone number in the chat?
My phone number's in the chat, my email's in the chat, and my online store link. But like I said, we do need to set this up with a special link that they would use so that they get the, Avon figures out everything on how much was spent, how much I give them back, and we can run it for 6 weeks. We can extend it after 6 weeks for another 3-4 weeks. And if that isn't enough, we can start a new one when that's over and keep running it. So this is me giving back. It's not Avon giving, it's me giving back my earnings. So I would really appreciate anybody that knows of people that need to raise money. And even if it's somebody personal, we can do that as well.
Beautiful.
Okay, so
Dawn, you want to tell them where you're from?
Yeah, I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana, but this can be done by Zoom, so it can be done anywhere in the United States for me to support them. And my scar, let me just tell you, it's probably one of the biggest ones they ever done. My daughter, after she was born, who is now like 36 years old, I had to have gallbladder surgery. And that was back when they did the slit across your whole stomach, not just 2 or 3 little holes. So that is probably the scar that I'm not the most fond of.
That's the one. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kendichi.
Hi everyone. Hi Lynn. I'm Ken and I'm from the Philippines, but I live right now in Cambodia. I'm a virtual assistant and a social media manager, and I help coaches and small business owners with their admin, tasks, and social media. And so for the question of the day, my most interesting scar. So first of all, I have a lot of scar. Like I have a scar on my chin like Bobby because I hit my self and the pavement when I was playing. And when I was young, I was really active and play a lot outside. But the most interesting one is like the one here on my finger. I have one here on the middle finger that's like scar, like go like this, that I thought that I was gonna lose the tip of my middle finger because I was an impatient kid and I draw a lot. So I like drawing. So my pencil needs to be sharpened, but I couldn't find the sharpener. And then we have these cutters like this big. And then I was like asking my mom to sharpen my pencil with the cutter, but my mom was busy and she was like, I will sharpen it later, just wait. But I couldn't wait because I'm impatient. So I got the cutter myself and I was like trying to get the cutter to work, but it was not working. So I was like forcing it and eventually it did. But I did not notice that I hit my finger here. So it's like really deep until I saw the blood. And then of course I panicked. And then I did this and then the blood went to the wall. So it's like somebody got murdered in the room because the blood splashes on the wall. And I start crying and screaming and asking for my mom. So my mom ran to me and then saw all the blood and then she got worried. It's like, did you stab yourself or something? But it was actually my finger here. So yeah, that stops for like, it has to heal for like 3 weeks, I think, and I couldn't draw, of course. So that was a lesson learned there. So that was my most interesting scar.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, guys, I'm going to put you all in some breakout rooms. Enjoy yourselves there, and I will see you all back here shortly. So